The cold morning breeze enveloped our tent. It was a beautiful, inviting day. A breathtaking view from the top of the hill, where we decided to camp. I woke up to the sound of the nearby river flowing, its cold waters reflecting the soft light of the rising sun. The smell of wet earth and damp leaves filled me with a sense of peace I hadn't felt in a long time. My husband, Jake, and I had decided to get away from the hustle and bustle of city life. Camping was our way of escaping. Me with my camera and him with his guitar. That morning, Jake stretched beside me while our dog Max, a golden Labrador, always happy and curious, played with a stick. "Ready for another adventure?" Jake asked, smiling. "Only if you are," I replied, trying to hide the growing anxiety inside me. The day started like any other during our trip to the Nevada mountains. The smell of burning wood from the campfire mixed with the fresh scent of the surrounding vegetation. But there was something in the air, an invisible tension I couldn't identify. After a makeshift breakfast by the fire, we decided to explore deeper into the forest. The trees were tall and imposing, and the ground was covered with dry leaves. When we reached a small valley surrounded by steep rocks and thick vegetation, I thought I saw movement among the trees. A chill ran down my spine. I thought, nonsense. After all, we were in the middle of nowhere. That particular night, while the stars shone brightly above us, something changed in the air. A distant scream cut through the tranquility, a sound that didn't belong to the peaceful nature of the mountains. Jake furrowed his brow and looked at me. "It must be just an animal," he said. But my instinct told me otherwise. I woke up during the night to the sound of footsteps near our tent. My heart raced as I realized we weren't alone. The morning brought with it a tense and anxious atmosphere. Shortly after breakfast, we spotted 3 men in the distance. They seemed armed and too dangerous to ignore. I looked at Jake. His face was filled with concern. "What should we do?" I whispered. "We need to leave," he replied. We tried to pack up our things quickly as the men came closer and closer. However, before we could fully escape, they surrounded us. "Jake!" I screamed desperately while Max growled fiercely by my side. They weren't just strangers. They seemed like dangerous mercenaries, searching for something or someone, and now we had become easy targets. "Look what we have here," one of them said with a crooked smile. "A lost couple in the mountains." Jake stepped forward and was immediately attacked by one of the men, while another held a gun pointed directly at us. The third, still very young, seemed unsure and indecisive about what to do. Chaos unfolded in a matter of seconds. The fight was brutal and desperate, screams mixed with the sound of punches and kicks echoing against the rocks, along with Max's fierce barking, defending his owner. Amidst the confusion, I managed to grab a large stone and hit the young man on the head with all my strength. He fell unconscious to the ground. At another moment, Jake managed to push the man who was about to shoot me. The two fell down the steep slope. I saw it all happen in slow motion. Meanwhile, Max bit the other man with ferocity. That's when I heard the gunshot. My heart stopped. I ran and saw Jake fall to the ground right after pushing the bandit, who tumbled down the abyss. Rage took over me as I realized he was still breathing. But there was no time to think. With my heart pounding and adrenaline pumping through my veins, I grabbed Max by the leash, and we began running through the forest. Despite being badly injured from Max's incessant attacks, the man was fast. I could hear his heavy steps behind us. I thought of the river nearby. Maybe it was our only chance of escape. We ran until we reached the riverbank. The mercenary was about to catch us when Max bravely lunged at him. In the crucial moment when everything seemed lost, Max leaped over a wet stone. The mercenary stumbled, trying to avoid him, and fell directly into the raging river. The sound of his desperate screams was soon silenced by the violent waters. His body disappeared beneath the waves, but before that, unfortunately, he shot and hit Max. But there was no time to waste. Another shot cut through the air again. I looked back only to see the third bandit, the indecisive young one, pointing his gun directly at us. And then I heard another blast, followed by the impact on my right leg. The pain exploded through my body as I fell to the ground. Max immediately jumped on top of me, protecting me with his strong body while growling and biting fiercely at the filthy young man who was trying to finish us off. With great effort, due to the sharp pain in my wounded leg, I pulled out a small knife hidden in my clothes. I knew I had to fight or die right there. I concentrated all my remaining strength into that blade, and when I finally managed to get up, with a swift move, almost instinctively, I plunged the knife deep into the bandit's chest before he could react. His eyes widened in surprise as he fell motionless before us, and then everything fell silent again, except for the sound of the river's waters. I quickly looked at Max. Mixed feelings flooded my being: gratitude, sadness, anger, but above all, love. Forcing myself to move forward despite the excruciating pain, I began to drag myself slowly through the forest to the place where I had left Jake lying before that unexpected fight. When I finally reached him, I discovered something wonderful. He was alive, breathing slowly despite his severe injuries. Max gently licked his wounded hand in a comforting gesture. Max always knew how to protect us. With superhuman effort, I carried Jake up the slippery slopes as my hands bled from the sharp rocks. Finally, we found shelter under some trees where we could rest before seeking help. "You're going to be okay," I said, looking affectionately into my husband's eyes as I wrapped his wound with torn pieces of my dirty clothes. Max began gently licking my bloody fingers as if he wanted to comfort me just as much as care for me in that insane situation. And there we were, the three of us, survivors in a cruel world, united by a love beyond the terrifying acts of that fateful day in the Nevada mountains. The memories of those horrific moments haunt our lives to this day, but we keep moving forward, grateful and taking care with all our love, the one who truly deserves to be exalted in this story, our faithful friend Max.